Okay. My name is Caitlin. I'm 21. I'm a part of the women's section, and I'm also first team men's assistant team manager.
Hi, I'm Courtney, and I'm the club captain of the women's section for Richmond.
So I'm Laura Capo. I'm the women's chair here at Richmond.
Hi, my name's Vaughan Bentley. I am head of community here at Richmond Rugby Club.
Hi, I'm Becky. I'm captain of the women's first team here at Richmond.
For me, I think my dad played rugby when he was younger, so that was a massive factor for me playing. I was always quite sporty in school, and I ended up trying rugby. I played first at Tring Rugby, which is where I'm from originally, and then I moved to join a girls section at Welling, which is really exciting for me, and I had an amazing time through my under-15s and under-18s. So yeah, that's probably what got me into rugby.
So I got into rugby, feels like years ago now, playing. I needed a second sport for my degree, and teacher at school was just like, just come down and give it a go. She tried it and she was playing uni, she absolutely loved it, so came down, gave it a go, and absolutely loved it. Really enjoyed the atmosphere. I loved how inclusive the sport was. I loved how inclusive and receptive everyone was here as well, so just have a look back, really.
Funny enough, I went to university in the US. I'd never played rugby before. Met some rugby girls at a party and they convinced me to try a new sport, and I did and fell in love. I moved over here a while ago, about 8 years ago. I used to play for Hove when I was doing my master's in Brighton. And when I moved up to London, my other half, he convinced me to try to play for Richmond, to challenge myself and try to get into the Prem, which we were in the Prem at the time. So I took the leap and I haven't left since.
I grew up in Twickenham, and obviously so rugby was a really big thing around the area. Supported Quins, watched all the games, and then one day I just decided that's what I wanted to do, so I gave it a go and never looked back since. So I started quite late. I started rugby when I was 29, and so I've been playing for about 7 years now. Worked for a few different leagues before I joined Richmond to come and play in the Championship.
What was really nice was that everyone came from all different sporting backgrounds. Everyone was different sizes, different shapes, from different places. And just seeing people that could go from band to, to soccer or football or volleyball, whatever it was, everyone had a place on the team. And it just made everyone gel because we all came together for one goal, which was really nice. So it was a really fun family style sport.
I would say the community, especially at Richmond, that shines through massively. We really try through all of the sections at the club to create this atmosphere of the one club, and that there's a culture of togetherness throughout as well, and that everybody feels like they have a place and that Richmond is really their home. And I think that shows throughout going for me, I think, as well as I'm in a really unique position where I have access to the women's side and the youth girls and the youth section, and also up to all of the men's team, up to the first team. So it's really exciting to be able to see everybody together. I think that's for me.
Our idea was to research the history and heritage of women's rugby here at Richmond Rugby Club. It's one of the oldest clubs. It was founded in 1861. So our idea was to go back in time and to do a bit of research and to share that research with the community.
It's quite hard in the sense of it's still not in that fully professional environment. It's finally getting there, and it's nice to see girls being able to be full-time rugby players, but it is hard for a lot of people to make that jump. I never did that because when I came over, I needed to work to then be able to play, and being able to juggle trying to play at the level of a full-time athlete, but having to work a 9 to 5 or whatever your schedule is really difficult. So as we move through that, I think it's going to get better for all the girls that are playing.
It obviously wasn't as big a game, and having started quite late, I never really had that coming through my childhood either. So the disadvantages were kind of not the equality that was in the men's game, not as in so much in the spotlight. So you had kind of lower level kind of referees, officiating, kind of almost a girls can't do it attitude. But I've definitely seen a massive improvement in that over the kind of years I've played, and we're kind of really bringing it up.
I think the disadvantages were that it wasn't the norm. No one really expected you to play rugby, and if you sort of told anyone, "Oh, I'm playing rugby today," it was what proper rugby, or on a full-size pitch, or with a proper ball. Do you do tackling? And all of those sort of stereotypical questions. And it was really frustrating to have to constantly explain, yes, we're playing the same rules that the men play by. Yes, we're playing on the same size pitch. Yes, we play with the ball. Yes, we tackle. And all of those things, it's like you're taking away the value of the sport rather than just embracing, okay, great, you're also getting all the benefits and enjoyment out of this great sport that we all love. Yes, it's traditionally a man's sport. I like to look at it now as it's a sport for all. Not only is it sport for everyone in terms of size, it doesn't discriminate against size or sexual orientation. I think from everyone's social backgrounds, now it's open to everybody.
The opportunities, so just the range of opportunities that maybe some of the men's teams might have been given or have access to. There's a massive disparity between that and the women's side, and that's probably from like a club level, but I think it comes the same when you look to your Premiership, and it's just the differentiation between what the men have access to, whether that's television rights or just general opportunities. That's probably most important. I would say just generally the amount of social media, the amount of advertising, different aspects, and the viewing, the abilities to view it and see women playing rugby is the most important. I'm training to be a teacher, so for me as well is actually being able to go to competitions with my girls at my school and rugby teams and being able to actually watch them play. I remember when I was at school at that age, there was no opportunities for the girls rugby team, so it's really amazing to kind of see the change happen and see it growing and see the games for girls growing and just more accessibility for that, really.
Yeah, the investment, it's just blown up so much, and you see the talent trickling down because of that, because you're seeing the Prem teams invest, allowing players to be full-time. It's forcing championship teams, Champ 2 teams to start looking at growing their teams and growing their talent. You're seeing it in the schools, and it's really just creating a more competitive environment. You have access to S&C, nutrition, all sorts of training around the park, mental health care. Being able to have that now in comparison to what we did when we first started, was going out and just chucking a ball around with some friends in old polos. It's a very different game.
I think there's just been a massive focus on women's sport in general, with rugby and England and how well they're doing, and with the Premiership and the PWR, has been really kind of focused that in and kind of grown that game, and I think all the clubs have brought into that kind of culture.
I think it's better now because we have a lot more acceptance. The fact that rugby is now available in schools, so it's available at a much younger level. It's a lot more normal for girls to get exposure to the game, both watching it competitively, but also being able to enjoy it in their grassroots clubs. A lot of clubs are putting the effort now into getting girls in at a younger age. So we here at Richmond have obviously got a minis girls section, so the girls can get to play just together, and they're playing against other teams now as well that have just got girls setups. We've got our youth setup here as well, and then through to our senior side, and I think the sort of all of the exposure that the Red Roses have had with the Six Nations and the World Cup more recently as well, it's just been brilliant. It just means the game is a lot more accessible. It's out there for people to see that girls can go and do this. So it's just growing the sport.
The grants has allowed us to go into 2 different schools and run free rugby programs for them in a 12-week period. There we've had girls that have come out of nowhere. They've come from not knowing any rugby and learned how to go from the beginning all the way to the end, where now they are playing full matches for their schools. So it's very beneficial for schools that didn't have any rugby, that we've now introduced rugby into the school, and we've actually set up their girls programs. The research has helped take Richmond out into the community. We then brought the community into the club. So and from there, people have been able to, from going from shy to coming out and being open and being able to be welcomed in any kind of environment. We're a very friendly environment over here. So I think in the past few years, there's been a lot of isolation, and a grant like this allows us to take people out of those isolation spots into an environment where they are safe, where they can be who they are and develop as a person around no one to judge them, but people to help them and grow. I would like to get into more schools, to be honest. For us, going out into the community and coaching and teaching them about the Richmond way and how things are done is great. We'd like to get more kids across from that side into the club, and that's the benefit for us. Would be more girls that have never played the sport before and that are afraid of it, that we can teach them the ways of rugby, that it isn't violent, it isn't scary or anything like that, that it's a fun sport. There's teamwork involved, there's you make new friends for life, so that for us would be the best benefit for us, and that's what we'll try and do up more, is try and get into more schools to get them down to the club, watching the girls on a Sunday or a Saturday whenever they're playing, or on a Sunday doing their own training in their own age groups.
What do you think has different
So Richmond has got a massive club ethos, which is an amazing kind of feeling here. Everybody's included, from kind of the minis all the way through up to the men senior, and the women are incorporated into that vibe and that club culture, and that's what makes it so special here.
I think what we do differently as a club is that we have a great opportunity for our girls to be able to see the pathway, and they can see that vision. Some of the coaches that are involved in our mini section are players, whether they're either retired players or whether they're injured. That goes through to our youth and then through to our senior setup as well. So there's a great pathway for both player and parent to see that girls from the age of 4 up to the age of 40 and beyond have got a place for them. And it's really nice to be able to see that alongside their male counterparts, alongside their brothers and their parents, that they can see that the girls have got a place for them all the way through.
It's a family, and I know that's the cliche thing to say, but coming to Richmond, you feel the culture, you feel the history of being a part of Richmond Rugby Club. When you go down the road and you meet old rugby players, people have either played against Richmond at some point in their lives or played for Richmond. And there's something really special about that you can have friends from around the world who have played for this club, and everyone bonds over that. So it's nice to have new people come in and join that family. And that's why I've stuck around, because it just keeps continuing to grow. And I'm glad to be a part of that.
Being able to have seasons playing with the girls and just spend time together on and off the pitch and have that community and the friends that you make along the way really makes such a difference. And that's why I think, the spirit that Richmond has is just amazing.
Family.
Richmond's family, I think. We'll go with that. Family.
A family.
Community.
Maybe family. I think that's a good one.